Welcome back to The Explainer. So, today we're taking on a topic that honestly carries way too much stigma, even though it affects almost everyone at some point. We're digging into some incredibly actionable source material today to help destigmatize and completely conquer financial stress. If you've ever felt that awful sinking feeling in your stomach at the end of the month when your bank account hits zero, well, you're definitely in the right place. Let's get into it. 60%. I want you to just wrap your head around that for a second. Studies show that over 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck at some point in their lives. Think about that. More than half the people you know or pass on the street or work with are likely navigating this exact same struggle. You are absolutely not alone in this, and your struggle here is incredibly valid. There's this fantastic quote from our source material that frames this perfectly. It says, "It is not a sign that you are bad with money. It is a sign that you need a better system." So let's just drop the shame right now, okay? We aren't going to talk about moral failings or guilt today. Instead, we're going to build a brand new financial system from the ground up, step by step. Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1, the paycheck to paycheck trap. A really sneaky culprit in this trap is a concept you've probably felt before called lifestyle inflation. It's essentially the tendency for your expenses to rise equally as your income increases, which results in zero savings regardless of how much you actually earn. This is exactly why even high earners, we're talking people making well into the six figures, often find themselves totally broke. You know how it goes. You get a raise, so you buy a bigger house, or maybe lease a newer car, or you just eat out a lot more, and suddenly that extra money just vanishes into thin air. But hey, lifestyle inflation isn't the only trap here. There are a few other systemic issues at play. Having no budget basically means you're flying blind. Having no emergency fund leaves you completely vulnerable to unexpected expenses, meaning every time you get a flat tire, that bill goes straight onto a credit card. Then you've got high debt payments eating up your cash flow month after month, and simply no saving habit built in. When saving is just left for whatever happens to be left over at the end of the month, let's be real, it literally never happens. Which brings us to our tactical solution. Phase 1, track and budget. Your very first step is to sit down and pull up your last 3 bank statements. You're looking to spot those forgotten streaming subscriptions, the frequent takeout orders, and those little daily purchases that silently drain your account. The source material emphasizes that this level of awareness is the absolute foundation of everything else we're going to do. Often, just observing your habits for a month without even actively trying to change them yet can spark massive shifts in your behavior. It's like turning the lights on in a dark room. To actually fix the flow of your money, we look at the 50-30-20 rule. That's 50% of your income for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and debt repayment. A budget like this brilliantly gives every single dollar a specific job before the month even begins. Now, if your current spending doesn't look anything like this right now, no worries. That is totally fine. It just tells us exactly which categories we need to start adjusting. Now for the action phase. Phase 2, cut and save. When it comes to cutting expenses, you really have 2 avenues. First, there are the quick cuts. Canceling those ghost subscriptions, switching phone plans, or just grabbing store-brand groceries. These are things you can literally do this afternoon. Then there are the bigger cuts, downsizing your car, finding a roommate, or moving to a cheaper apartment. Now those take some time, obviously, but they yield massive results. The beauty here is that even if you just focus on the quick cuts and free up, say, $200 to $300 a month, that provides the crucial breathing room you need to finally start saving. So what do you do with that freed up money? You aim it straight at a starter emergency fund of $500 to $1,000. This acts as a crucial buffer against all those unexpected life events. Because without this buffer, the very next time your check engine light comes on, it puts you right back into credit card debt and restarts the entire vicious cycle all over again. To hit that starter fund goal quickly, the source outlines 4 rapid-fire strategies. 1. Sell unnecessary items. Go clean out that garage. 2. Take on extra work just for a month. 3. Cut all non-essential spending for 30 days. Think of it as a temporary freeze. And 4, save any windfalls like a tax refund or a bonus. Once this starter buffer is in place, you've actually already broken one of the hardest parts of the paycheck to paycheck trap. Let's move along and see how this momentum builds in phase 3, earn and automate. Look, sometimes you can only cut so much, right? If your expenses are trimmed to the absolute bone, you have to look at increasing your income. You can ask for a raise, find a higher paying job, start a side hustle, learn a new skill, or maybe take on some overtime. The source makes a great point here. Bringing in just an extra $300 to $500 a month from a side gig can dramatically accelerate your progress and permanently pull you out of the danger zone. But the absolutely crucial point in this phase is to automate those savings. Pay yourself first, even if it is literally just $25 per paycheck, by setting up an automatic transfer to your savings account the very day you get paid, before you even have a chance to spend a dime of it. The savings habit builds itself. You don't have to rely on willpower anymore. It's a real game changer because it just quietly happens in the background.
And that brings us to the ultimate payoff, your new financial reality.
Now, breaking the cycle definitely takes time. Month 1 is just about tracking expenses without changing a single thing. By months 2 and 3, you'll start seeing meaningful improvement as you cut some expenses and build that starter fund. And then between 6 to 12 months, you can break the cycle completely with consistent effort. I want to reassure you, this does not happen overnight. And yeah, there for sure will be some setbacks. But by sticking to this realistic timeline, true financial security is entirely within your reach. Because once you have 1 to 6 months of living expenses saved up, everything transforms. The whole shebang. You stop dreading unexpected expenses. You can actually make career decisions based on what you want to do, not just what pays the bills. You sleep better at night. Your relationships improve because that constant background hum of financial friction is just gone. You transition from just surviving month to month to actually building real generational wealth. Our source material leaves us with this powerful truth, and I love this. The cycle breaks one decision at a time. It can feel super overwhelming to look at the whole mountain in front of you, but every single time you skip an impulse buy or transfer $10 to savings or negotiate a single bill, you are chipping away at that cycle. Every single small victory counts. So I want to leave you with a question. What is one expense you can cut today, not next month, not on Monday? Look at your banking app right now, find one single thing to cut, and move that money to your savings account today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Get out there, break the cycle, and take back control